Arkane Studios are one of the most respected and talented developers due to games such as the Dishonored, Dishonored 2, and Prey in particular. However, even their older works such as Arc Fatalis and Dark Messiah of Might and Magic has some many good things going for them. They're responsible for some of my most important gaming memories, such as the unveiling the secret of the space station in Prey. I even enjoyed Emily's story in Dishonored 2, and the freedom of gameplay in the Dark Messiah and the Might and Magic. However, as time has gone on, I began to feel a bit distant from the studio. I've disagreed heavily with their most recent release, Deathloop, and I've been struggling to get on board with the new direction the studio is striving towards. In particular, I want to talk about how Arkane has changed as a developer. Their focus has gone from creating detailed and terrifying unique worlds to create games that are a bit too confused. A major part of this issue is Deathloop, a game so vividly confused of what it wants to be that it leaves players dumbfounded. The other reason why I'm feeling this way is due to the recent Xbox presentation at the Summer Game Fest and Arkane's reveal of their long-awaited cooperative shooter game, Redfall. Of course, Arkane is owned by Bethesda, which is owned by ZeniMax, and ZeniMax itself is now owned by Microsoft, and that means it's a part of the Xbox family. Now that all of their games are going to be headed towards Game Pass on day one of the release. This has a lot of big problems, in fact, so you know what? I want to talk a little bit about that. I was already a bit concerned that the favorable buzz surrounding Deathloop that would lead people to have the erroneous notion it's some sort of a certified masterpiece. Deathloop is a limited-time PS5 exclusive from the developer Arkane Studios, which already got into the good books of all the Sony fans. However, this was amid of the time that ZeniMax was purchased by Microsoft, and that Deathloop would be final game released on a PlayStation platform from Arkane. Now, despite all of the 10s and 9s, Deathloop is anything but perfect. Deathloop is among the most flawed written games that I've played in a while, and it has several glaring flaws that will undoubtedly drive people away from its natural polarizing core gameplay. There is a vivid sense of confusion when it comes to Deathloop's core gameplay design. I don't understand how the game can be so proud of itself due to its freedom of gameplay, and yet it mentions repeatedly that you have to do things a certain way in order to beat it and or get better upgrades. It's a bit rudimentary that it focuses all of the efforts on telling the player what to do, rather than letting you figure out by yourself. There's an endless amount of notes, documents, audio logs, and items to find in a game that give you details of a description of what to do. There's always a giant marker on the HUD which displays where you need to go exactly to find one of the many objectives that you're targeting from your journal. Not to mention it even tells you when and where the visionaries are, and sometimes even how to kill them. There's barely anything that players can do here without game already telling you what to do, and that aspect of the game essentially makes exploration feel pointless. In the beginning, it seems like a game where you will be able to explore the map and trying your best to find out where to go, where the visionaries are, and devise a plan of your own to take them all out in one day. However, it turns out that you have to take them out in specific, predefined order to finish an actual run. Moreover, you need to make sure your run always ends in the up dam so that you can head to the rocket jet thing and head over to fight Juliana. It's kinda confusing to me that I had little to no say in how I wanted to take out the visionaries. You either do it by shooting at them, stealth killing them, or just one of the ways that game tells you to do, like Charlie and Thea in their secret bunker that you can submerge in the water to drown them. This game also has features where you can play as Juliana, which essentially gives you the option to ruin other players' days by killing them while they're having a good run or something like that. However, it also does another thing, which is to keep players playing the game for a longer time than they would a single-player game with more replayability such as the Dishonored or Prey. There's no replayability in Deathloop in my opinion, so they took the easy way out and added Juliana instead of keeping players playing for more cosmetic and unlocks. This brings me to the next section of this video, how Arkane is being made to keep players playing and how Xbox Game Pass comes into foray here. Xbox Game Pass is a revolutionary product. I truly believe Xbox Game Pass supremacy, as it not only gives indie games a platform to truly shine and become more recognized through, but it also gives players hundreds of games for the price of $12 to $15. In all honesty, everyone should have incentive to invest into Xbox Game Pass. It's one of the best and the most consumer-friendly things to happen with gaming in ages. However, when it comes to Game Pass and the way it affects developers, we're not really about to get a lot of good content here in terms of the scale and the scope. Of course, you can purchase everything that is on the Xbox Game Pass on a different platform such as Steam or PlayStation or GOG or Epic, even if you'd like to support the developers. But they're not going to be earning hard-earned cash in terms of the sales at all. Elden Ring made $6.85 billion simply due to the fact that it wasn't exclusive to anything, and that you had to purchase it to play. The fact that it's the game being sold for full price meant that the developers actually had to put in effort in the product to make it good. This is something Arkane doesn't have to worry about anymore, now since they're part of the Xbox family, bringing us up the next topic of conversation, Redfall. Now, Redfall is a game that I wasn't too happy to see even with the CGI cinematic trailer came out years ago. However, now that we actually have seen the actual gameplay, I'm even more convinced that this is going to be a Left 4 Dead clone some sort. It looks so much like Back 4 Blood, which was a game by Left 4 Dead developers, even though that's not exactly true. There's barely anyone, if at all, was working on that game. And it sucked tremendously, simply because there was no innovation. I just don't see any innovation within Redfall either. It's a combination of characters classes such as the Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Extraction and combined with the Arkane signature gameplay, but it's a much more run-and-of-gun format this time around. It's essentially a Back 4 Blood clone, fighting off hordes of enemies and four-person cooperative shooter with nothing much to do besides fend off hordes of enemies and finish a badly written story. That's the kind of vibe that I've gotten from this gameplay trailer, and while I won't discard the game completely, this isn't the direction I would have seen a developer so bold and innovative such as the Arkane take unless they have complete safety. I don't want to diss Arkane completely and just hate on them for no reason, but it's feeling a lot like they're lost the direction that they have when they're creating games such as Dishonored. These games had so much more than meets the eye. Exploration was rewarding, combat was difficult and yet satisfying, stealth was most fun you could ever have. Meanwhile, in Deathloop, stealth feels like a non-option unless you're being forced to do it, such as the infiltrating Fia's bunker. I truly love and appreciate the games that Arkane has made, and even found a few good things about Deathloop, such as the gunplay and the way abilities work. However, there's nothing unique as Arkane's Dishonored games and Prey, and it's just sad to see that the company had taken a completely different approach, where monetized approach than to keeping the patrons happy by creating games with actual effort put into them. Please consider supporting me on my Patreon to see these special videos earlier, including with the extra additional rewards. And check out my playlist of all of the special videos that I already have released. I'm very proud of them. Do let me know what you think of them too. Have an amazing day, and I will see you all later.